Because this right here is a brand new line of kits, I thought I'd preface this video with a little bit of an explanation about what these are and why you should care. So basically, model kit girls or mecha model kit girls are a dime a dozen at this point. What makes these any different from something else out there like Megami Device, Frame Arms Girls, whatever Good Smile company, whatever other companies are making? What makes this different? Well, one, this is Bandai's industry-leading technology behind this. The second aspect is, and this is the biggest one of all, these are fully compatible with every single thing that's come out from 30-minute missions to this day. That is a lot of parts. That is essentially Mecha Lego right there. You can design whatever kind of mecha girl you want with this line combined with 30-minute missions. And the third aspect is, these are pretty cheap, a fraction of the price of what you'd see from other companies. Let's dive in and check this out. Hey, what is up everyone? Today I'm taking a look at Bandai's new line of Mecha MUSUME model kits, and that is 30-minute sisters. As usual, this video right here would not have been possible without those absolutely awesome people over at Hobbylink Japan. So if you want some 30-minute sisters kits of your own, I'll throw a link to everything that's in this video down there in the description. So we're going to be starting into it with this one right here. This is the 30-minute sisters Risheta. So now jumping into the overview of what comes inside of this box. As well as Risheta herself, we've also got 2 alternate faces, a whole bunch of armor, I guess I'll talk about this when we're talking about it, and a pair of alternate hands. So technically, no real weapons in here, just the armor and the girl. Now let's check them out. But before we check them out, let's talk a little bit about the build. So I know I have a little bit of a habit of saying this, but I think this is Bandai's best girl-style model kit thus far. They've done a lot of things right in here, and this isn't what I was expecting. I expected to see some rehashed parts from some other kits, namely the Girl Gun Lady kits, but that's not the case. First off, the faces in here. These face plates are actually printed out of the box, so you just snip them out of the runners and they look like this already. You don't need any stickers, no paint, no nothing. This is also a very simple kit to build. Would it take you 30 minutes? Maybe when you actually get used to them. One of the coolest features about this kit is, just like this little chibi in the manual tells you to do, what you do is you split the runners up. Each runner has a number and a letter, so the usual Bandai A, B, C, D, etc. But we've also got 1, 2, 3, 4. You break them up into 4 different piles depending on the numbers. Pile number 1 will build you the head and the torso. All the parts from pile number 2 will build you the arms. All the pieces from pile number 3 then will build you the legs. And the final pile then is the armor. This is so simple, so intuitive, so once you build one of these, you'll be able to build the rest without the instructions, which is pretty cool. Another thing I will mention about this kit is this is perfect for beginners, so if you want to start out with this kit, you totally can. All you need is a nipper, and you don't even need a crazy good nipper either. Bandai has really gone all out with the gates on this kit. They are tiny, so when you nip them off, you could just rub them with the tip of your nail, and it's clean as a whistle. Very nice kit. Everything slots together perfectly. This is a solid tight kit. I will mention there are some small parts in the wrists, very small if you find that difficult, but besides that, straightforward, and honestly, very impressed. Let's check it out. So jumping into that full 360 spin for the aesthetics, and I have to say I am so impressed by this right here. What gets me straight away is just the general quality. This is solid as a rock and the plastic all looks phenomenal. So the plastic on this is mainly in a nice kind of matte with an almost velvet touch. This is very soft, so it's easy to clean up. I did no filing, no sanding, no nothing. This is it pretty much straight off the runners. The definition in the hair is incredible. The fact that this comes with a pre-printed face is awesome for Bandai. And on the whole, this is incredible considering its price. This comes in at 2,500 yen, and that is awesome for a mecha girl model kit. Sure, there isn't a whole lot of mecha per se in this box, but that's because you can use it with the 30-minute missions kits. But anyway, let's jump in a little bit closer and have a look. So to say that these sort of girl model kits are popular in Japan is an absolute understatement. Every brand has a whole bunch, and Bandai themselves has so many different ones they've released. So how does this really compare? Honestly, I think this is almost, at least from the Bandai perspective, a girl model kit perfected. It's almost like a little figure. It doesn't feel like the older ones, which are a little on the hollow and knocky around side. And I'm not even talking about the Fumina ones, I mean the Diver Nami and whatnot. This has even gone beyond those in terms of quality. When it comes to other brands, I haven't really seen much of Kotobuki. I've just seen the original Megami device, the original Frame Arms girl. That is it. I also have this one here which I actually need to get around to finishing the video of, which is one by Good Smile Company. This is incredible, but a completely different beast to what we're looking at today. So while I have all of these hanging out over here, I might as well get into a bit of a size comparison and general comparison. So starting with some Bandai kits, and first up there is one of the old bobble-headed Fumina kits. This was one of the last ones that came out. It's not the worst, but still pretty much an absolute monstrosity. Side by side with Bandai's Diver Nami, a great kit when it came out, but just not quite as good as this one is. Beside the Super Saiyan Diver Ayame, beside the mobile doll Sarah, beside Bandai's Asuna, Lady Commander Alice, a 30-minute mission Spinatia, a Frame Arms girl, a Megami device, and beside one of Good Smile Company's Cheetosarium model kits. But the main thing that makes this so much different to all of those is the main selling point we have right here, which is the 30 minutes. So this is compatible with everything we would have seen so far with Bandai's 30-minute missions model kit line, which is really extensive at this point, and honestly one of the most fun and intuitive modular mecha systems out there. I love this line. There's so much to build, so much to collect. It's essentially like, well, mecha Lego in a way. Everything fits together in whatever way you want, and you can build whatever you want, and they keep releasing more and more. So this kit is pretty much compatible with the entire 30-minute missions back catalog. We also have 4 little armor plates in the front of the legs. You can pop these off, and we've got even more 3mm peg holes for using with various different accessories. And now it's about time to get all that armor on. The first thing you need to do is remove the arms and legs at the upper limbs, because you need to remove the yellow circular segments and replace them with new yellow circular segments that have a peg on them. We also have ones for on the wrists as well, and once they're attached, you can attach the bow onto the head, shoulder armor, claw armor, blades on the back of the arms, backpack, tail, and armor on the sides of the legs, and there she is, fully armored up. So anyway, there she is with all of that armor attached, and although it doesn't make a huge difference, there's still some new additions to it now. Of course, once again, that is the bow up on the head, the armor on the sides and the back of the arms, and the armor on the legs. This is pretty much everything that is included in this box, so that is what you get. If you want a little bit more, you're gonna have to splash out for the add-ons, which I'll take a look at soon. But first, let's take a look at those faces. So as for the face plates we have in here, this is the first one, which is a pleasant smiling face. We've got a happy smiling face with closed eyes. And finally then we've got this somewhat determined looking, shouting face looking off to the left. And in order to change the faces, it is quite simple, just like your standard anime action figure. You just pull off the front of the hair, pull off the face plate, attach on the face plate of your choice, and put the hair back on. Simple as that right there. So now that we've seen everything that comes in the box with a 30-minute Sisters kit, it's time to check out some of the options that also are out as well. First up in here we do have some sold separately armor, which is the Option Parts Set 1 Speed Armor. So this seems to be specifically designed for the Risheta right here because of the color and what's in here. It has a sort of a cat or tiger style vibe, and there's a little more in here than I thought. There is the armor, but there's also another very interesting aspect, especially if you're into 30-minute missions kits. So in here we do get 3 runners, and as for what we get in the end, that is a pair of cat ears that attaches onto the bow up on her head, some extra shoulder armor which attaches onto the standard armor that comes with her, so nothing does need to be removed, it just all sandwiches over. We also have some claws that pop on over the claws we had, thigh armor, knee armor, a pair of pretty cool looking feet armor, and a little bit of a blade attachment from the tail. So anyway, there's the full 360 spin with that speed armor on, and I have to say I am impressed once again. I assumed before actually getting this that this yellow armor was just a color swap of the black armor that was on her already. I didn't know that this sandwiches on top of it. Nothing had to be removed besides some parts in the front of the legs, but besides that it all just layers on for this cool jewel layer effect. Bandai really are impressing with their 30-minute line of kits. This is so cool, and we haven't even tried any 30-minute missions with it yet. And speaking of which, honestly, the amount of care and detail Bandai put into this is ridiculous. The amount of subtle yet awesome cat aspects here. The claws, the little indents into the armor kind of looking like tiger stripes, the way the ears sandwich on top of the bow, and I didn't even notice earlier on that the backpack adapter you get with this is actually in the shape of a cat paw. That is pretty subtle, but awesome. The next pair of items we have in here really do change the game a lot. These are an alternate pair of thighs and, well, I might as well stick them on and then I'll tell you. So these right here are an absolute game changer. So these just go on in place of the standard legs she already has. You do need to steal some of the circular yellow parts that go on the thighs. I'm going to go with the ones that have the peg just so we have extra to work with. I'm not sure if I'll use them or not, but we'll see. And once you have them attached, the glorious aspect of these right here is the joint for the knee is the standard 30-minute mission C joint that you will see on the legs and arms and all over the place on 30-minute missions kits. So that means I can just grab a kit like this one right here, steal its legs, slap on those 30-minute missions legs, and there you go. You can completely transform the feel of this model kit. Now, I'll also mention there is a lot of other aspects of 30-minute missions which are compatible with this, pretty much everything, but this is a simple one right here. Just look how much... That's just so cool! Honestly, I can't wait to see how Bandai develop more on this line. So like I mentioned, this line is pretty much 100% compatible with 30-minute missions. So that does mean you can actually just like strip off the parts like the arms, grab your 30-minute missions kit and steal its arms, and then just swap them into the exact sized ball joint shoulder holes. And there we go, some pretty hilariously small arms. I will mention you can't really move these around too much because of the fact that they clash with the head. So you'd be better off finding yourself something like the Spinatia right here, which has more slender arms and wider set shoulder pegs. So just popping those off, popping them on then like this. And those right there are more fitting robot arms. So what you can do, you know, is pretty much limitless. So seeing as we have those white Spinatia arms up there, I think it's time to try out some white legs as well. And I know just the pair. That are these reversed limb killer legs from the Porta Nova space type. How cool is that? This is getting less and less human with everything I add to it, and that is cool. You can swap everything. You can swap the head if you want. Everything. Arms, legs, head, below the knees now with these additional upper leg segments. There is so much to do, and I will end up getting carried away, so let's move on to the next thing. So moving on to the next thing that came out at the same time as the last couple of things we just looked at, this is the 30-minute Sisters option body parts type G01. So this right here is pretty simple. This is an alternate torso that builds exactly in the same way as the torso that came in the standard Risheta box. There are 3 runners in here, and there isn't anything like adapters or leg parts or anything new like that. It's just mainly a torso. So once this is completed, we've got the alternate torso and a lot of the pieces we would have seen in yellow in the last kit. So that is the bottom of the feet if you want to swap out the bottom of the feet, and the various thigh, arm, and wrist mounting parts. We also have these right here, which is the backpack adapter, and this thing which I've never mentioned just yet, but that is a neck adapter to use these heads with standard 30-minute missions kits. So swapping out these parts is simple enough, but there is a lot you have to take off and put back on again. For example, you're getting rid of everything essentially besides the lower arms, the lower legs, and the head. Everything else you kind of scrap into the side for now, which does feel a little bit on the wasteful side. You swap out all the yellow parts like the rings on the arms and legs, as well as the yellow sections that were on the bottom of the feet, with the new bluish purple, and it completely changes the color palette. So anyway, jumping into the full 360 spin of the new body, so this gives the kit a completely new, cooler toned vibe than what we would have seen with the original body. I'll also mention that every aspect of these bodies is modular, so the arms, the upper torso, the abdomen, the hip, the upper legs, the rest of the legs, these are all modular, so you can swap them between what we have right now here and what we would have seen before for different variations of clothing and style. So what that means is you're able to take the upper part of this torso and pop it on in place of that torso, the waist, the open legs as opposed to the closed legs on this one, the closed upper arms, etc. for different variations of outfits. Hey, I'll just throw some bits on, I guess, while we check out what's next. So also released on the same day as the last three things we saw is this box right here. Now this is some hairstyles in different styles and colors. After ripping it open, inside here we've got 4 different ones. That is pink long pigtails, yellow short pigtails, a red short cut, and a black short cut. Inside of each of these boxes we've got 2 different runners. Both sets of pigtails are somewhat the same, but a little different, and both sets of shorter cuts are kind of the same, but a little bit different, and resemble the standard hair that you get with Rishetta. The instructions are on the inside of the box, so in case you get a little confused, that's where they're at. Now let's try out different hairs and body combinations to see what we can get. Taking off the hair and adding it back off again isn't really all that difficult. Basically, you just pop off the front of the hair, the side parts, the back, and once you've got it stripped down to this right here, you don't even need to remove the head. You can pop on the parts that make the next hair. The short hair and the pigtailed related hairs, those attach a little bit differently. The pigtails are definitely simpler. So to try something new for this hair and to make it look like a completely different girl entirely, it's time to dismember! And once it's in a whole pile of pieces on the ground, you can mix and match what we've got so far. So I'm just going to go with all the different closed aspect of the clothing to see how it all goes together. These all work. There it is finished and it just works. Everything out of this little batch all matches perfectly. By putting all the different closed aspects of the clothing together, we've got something akin to an Evangelion plug suit. What we've got right here looks absolutely nothing like what we started out with. This has been so transformative for such subtle differences. I can't wait to see how this line expands. So now moving on to the next hairstyle, which is the blonde pigtails. And in order to do this, once again, you strip that head down to this nightmare fuel right here. I'm taking the face off too, so you can try a different one, get a different vibe. And honestly, Bandai has really crafted this with such detail. Even the ears. Seriously, check out those ears. Honestly, these subtle little differences are making such a huge impact. For example, a lot of the parts on the pigtails here are the same as the pink ones. For example, the back of the head. But once we've all the parts put together, this looks like an entirely different character once again. I mean, this is quite incredible. For the most part, not much has changed since what we saw originally with the Rishetta, but a lot, or should I say a little, has gone a long way. So much so this time I'm going to actually just deadpan change from what she looks like right here to the next one. Now, I mean seriously, that looks like a completely different character. Everything has changed so much just from a couple of different accessories. Now that is mad. So this time what I just used was the navy blue hair in the short cut, and it looks so different. Now this hair is quite similar to the original one we get with the Rishetta. All that's going on around the back is exactly the same mold, just in a different color. The only things that's changed is the bangs up front. Now let's check the last one, which is the red. And once again, wham! What a massive difference. Now this isn't as impactful as the whole body change and everything. This is the final hair, which is the short cut in red. Again, round back the mold is the same, and up front we've got some sharp bangs on the side and a fringe. Honestly though, these are really cool. So I can't finish this video right here without trying some kind of random custom, because that's the way these videos have to go. So I have a couple of things I haven't actually done in other 30-minute missions videos that I might as well take a peek at right now. The first of which are the WITCHCRAFT weapons. Now these are usually for using with the Spinatias, or in general you can use them with anything 30 minutes, that's the whole point. So I'm gonna try them out to see how they work with the Risheta right here. So there are the WITCHCRAFT weapons, and I also did swap out the hand for the holding hand that you get with the 30-minute sisters. Hopefully, things will fit. So as per usual with an option set for 30-minute missions or a weapon set, we've got a whole bunch of modular bits in here, which makes it impossible to just buy one, but I've just got the one, so I'm gonna have to make do. So yeah, we already hit game over straight away. This isn't gonna happen. So basically with the 30-minute missions robots, you're able to take off the back of the hand to attach the weapons in. You cannot here, and I don't want to strain the fingers by trying to squeeze this in past them. So it seems with 30-minute sisters kits, you are limited to weapons that slide into the top of the hand like so, aka nothing with a wide end will fit. Just things like this little gun right here. Is what would be the case if these kits weren't completely modular, so it's bionic arm time! Off with that, on with the bionic arm. A little long, but it'll do. So anyway, there we've got the beginning of the staff, so let's try it piece by piece. So the first thing we can do with this is add on an adapter, this little pair of what looks like some wing detailing, and then stick on some of the business effect parts. First of which is this very narrow blade effect. There it is attached and looks pretty cool. If you need more killing power, we've got a bigger blade. I will mention you're able to chop the end of this if you just want to make the blade segment into a sword, but I'm not going to do that, I've only got the one. And the last effect part we have in here is a whip beam effect. I will mention all these beam effects are super bright green, which look fantastic. On to the next level here, and just pop off the beam effect parts and pop in this little hooked end. Now we're getting magical here. We've got two alternate effect parts for using with this. One is a sphere like so, looking pretty cool. I will mention there's a 3mm hole in the top of it, so you can use it with whatever you want, not just this staff. You can pop up the spherical one. We also have a gem type one here, which looks even more magical, and that just pops out in the exact same way, and that right there is what it looks like. Just for the sake of example, you can use this both ways, so popping it out of the hand, flipping around, popping it back in again, and now we're going to use something completely different. You can use anything on either end, by the way, and that is this side blade, and that is pretty awesome. So because the next thing will not work with her arms either, it's time for another bionic arm. In here we've got a pair of these hands right here, which have a hole in the palm. Now this can probably once again be used with a lot of effect parts for something resembling a blast, etc. So that is pretty cool. So what we've got here to slot into that hand is this magical glyph defense or attack magic. I guess it could be either depending on what you want. Now that is kick-ass, and if magic isn't enough for you or effect parts isn't enough, we also have a shield in here too, which can be layered over it like so for some more physical protection. And seeing as the intended kit for using these with is the Spinatia, there is what they look like attached onto that one. So I do have a few more 30-minute missions kits to my right here that I was going to get into in this review, but it's taken me so long, I think it's time to call it a night. Either way, the 30-minute missions, or should I say the 30-minute sisters line, is incredible. It's the same awesome 30-minute missions quality, if not a little bit better. Bandai really did take the time in thinking these out. The plastic quality is fantastic, the design is fantastic, but the best aspect about these, just like with the 30-minute missions kits, is the modular nature of the line. You can use these with each other, different hair, different bodies, parts from other 30-minute missions kits. Honestly, the potential is endless. You can make your own fully custom Mecha MUSUME kit from all of these parts. Grab a whole bunch you have, plan out in advance and buy them all to build what you want. Honestly, there is no end to the potential. I love the 30-minute missions line. I adore it. If you have not tried it and you've never been interested before, but you do like girl mecha model kits, this might be time. And if you are looking for anything that you did see in this video, links are down there in the description and you can get them through Hobbylink Japan. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time. As always, this video right here would not have been possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos, including those of you who help out on the channel memberships and over on Patreon, including Craig Jerry, Van Fawn, Sean T, Mr. Winter, Lauren C. Hack, Joseph Kuklock, Global Frequency Studios, Forseti, Caleb Engelhart, and Gaikotsu Official.